Welcome to the Social Living Podcast. We're back again with another one, episode 24, man. How you doing, Jam?
I'm good. I'm good. Another busy week,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm feeling it now. I'm not gonna lie. Like the tiredness is kicking in. You can only do so much for so long, but
I,
yeah,
I
it's
hear
good.
you. I
It's
hear
good.
you. You've never come on here and said, "Oh, you know what? It's been a silent week this week."
Yeah, yeah. Which is good, I guess, because I'll keep it busy and like new things keep coming, new opportunities. But sometimes
Yeah.
you need a quiet time, some peaceful time.
Mm-mm-mm.
So if
Yeah,
you're
man. You need a holiday. You got any holidays booked for the year or anything like that? Like,
just booked Affirmation, man.
oh,
Third time,
again.
this is the third time I booked it. So this has got to be the time.
Where
I've got to go.
where is it this year? Is it always
Uh,
in
Portugal.
Portugal?
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
always in Portugal? Yeah.
It has the last three times, but the time before that was in Ghana.
Okay. Oh, God, that must be
Yeah, I
lit.
can imagine it'd be lively.
Yo, big up all my Ghanaians, man. They know how to party, man.
Mm,
You know
mm.
what? I'm so happy you could like. Obviously, you're a dad, but you're still living this life.
Trying to, trying to.
I rate that so much. I'm not. Man. Afro Nation is not on my list.
Mm,
Like, I would like to, but it's just not. It's not there right now. Like, I could see it being a hell of a vibe.
mm.
WizKids had an amazing year. Burner Boy, Thames. I don't
Mm.
know if these guys are even out. I
Yeah, yeah,
expect them
yeah.
to be.
They're
Do you know
there.
what I mean? You was it the Appiano crew?
Mm.
Like, you want to bamba? I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get into
You
that.
see, you see when that goes off. Jeez.
Big up to those guys, man. Because
Mm.
yeah, man, Afro beats, African music has had a big run this last 2 years.
No, yeah, like it's been for a while now.
You know
Been
what?
for,
I think we might have to dedicate an episode to that and like just have a look at like how social media has been a big power tool for that as well.
mm.
Because some of these trends, they're kicking off all sorts.
Yeah,
And it's
even that one, the one last year. I'm gonna sound crazy singing this, but it goes like Juliet, na 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 Juliet. Have you heard that one of TikTok?
no, no, I don't know that one. So I don't think I know
Whoever's
that one.
watching will know. If you're a TikToker, you'll know what I'm talking about. But
To be fair, you could if you I don't know if you want to find it, you can quickly find it now. We got the screens now. You can quickly find it. This,
that's a difficult one, 'cause I don't know the lyrics to this, the tunes.
Okay, say
So
no more.
yeah, but I'll see what I can find. See what I can
Yeah,
find.
say no more, say no more. And even that one that's playing at the moment, the one with Ed Sheeran jumping on it.
Mm,
Peru. That
yeah.
one, yeah, that one's yeah. There's a lot of African tunes. I feel like the Latino music has had their like their vibe, their time as well. They were taking over everything. Now the Afro beats is coming in and they're looking strong as well.
Mm,
So
mm,
yeah, man, big up them guys, man. Big up them guys. In terms of myself this week, um, yeah, man, I was ill. I was ill on Sunday. Man, I was broken, man.
mm.
It wasn't COVID, thankfully. Tested myself bare times as well. No COVID. But man, I was just you had a fever. I was cold. I was cold for so long.
Mm.
Had football. The cold was like it was in my bones. I couldn't. I was in the bed. I had an electric blanket on. Had a water bottle. Nothing was getting me warm. I don't know what it was I had, but that killed me for like Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I was out, so I kind of only been back on it like yesterday, and so it's been a bit of a slow week, but everything still gets looked after. I still have to make meetings and stuff like that, but it's been okay, but could have been better. So yeah, man. I'm looking forward to today's topic, toxic masculinity. But before we touch on that, to be fair, I wanted to just kind of quickly do a quick talk about football. We haven't really spoken about football too tough, but like on social, you can't escape it right now. Like transfer rumors, like all these stories, agents. Like I just wanted to give like a social media like I guess focus on basically like some transfer rumors and how they're escalating and if you're an Arsenal fan, you thought Vlahovic was coming, and now he's not coming, and like, is that intentional by his agent to up his price or to get a team to buy him? Like, what's your take on some of the situations that you've been seeing right now?
Again, I think it's been a lot of talk. As we know on social media, everyone has a voice, everyone has an opinion, and there's many different outlets, especially within football, that have built an audience and people listen to that audience. And we can see that agents have started to use that audience in their favor in terms of spreading false rumors to get clubs to act on it. And I think that's what we've seen with Vlahovic and that whole situation. I feel like the move to Juventus was always going to happen, and they've kind of used Arsenal within that conversation to kind of nudge Juventus a bit to get that over the line now, rather than wait until the summer or the year after. But it's a tactic, and you can't blame agents for doing it either, because they're looking after their players, they're looking after their clients at the end of the day, and they've got to have their best interest for them. So yeah, it's a tactic I'd use anyway if I was an agent. I feel like it's one of those things that you've just got to use for your advantage.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that one. I was also thinking maybe for Arsenal it was the same. It's a tactic as well. Like they probably knew they wouldn't be able to get Vlahovic, so it's like the target that they're maybe trying to get that they know is probably feasible. It's like it takes away the attention from that target, so they can just kind of focus and get that one done, um, as opposed to this one that's where all the noise is.
It happened. We know that for being Arsenal fans that is often the case. With Thomas Partey last year, everything was about Husam Aouar for the whole of the summer. Obviously, it didn't happen. Last minute, Partey joins. Like it seems a very familiar tactic to Arsenal, and I don't know if that's intentional or just as it is, because we leave our business very late.
Yeah.
Up till now, we've got no strikers linked. No, Alan Chambers has just left. I feel like we've sold at least 8 players.
Yeah. Manager's gone over to US to hold talks with the owners. Like I don't know. The Arsenal situation is a bit of a mess, but I just thought we could just like quickly touch on it because I'm just seeing rumors everywhere. And obviously, as you mentioned, like being an Arsenal fan, you're used to like having to practice saying someone's name, like Higuain or something, to realize the way you actually say it is Sonogo. So it's like you're used to that, innit? So Vlahovic is probably I don't know who else is there. Matt Turner is coming. So
yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, man, let's segue this into today's topic, man. So episode 24 today, we're talking about how toxic positivity kind of took over social media. If you don't know what toxic positivity is, I guess in many words, it's kind of like it's like you're not allowed to, I guess, you're not allowed to feel any kind of sense of negativity. Everything has to be positive, and you should always kind of choose positivity and not feel any other like vibe. I guess a good sign of that is like positive vibes only. Do you know what I mean? Like you're human, you're gonna feel different types of ways and things like that. So yeah, today we're talking about toxic positivity. I myself, I followed many different accounts, and there's so many accounts that like they try to make everything look so perfect. Everything is like there's nothing out of place. There's filters. Everything it needs to look positive and perfect, no matter what it is. Like, and I just kind of like looked at a few posts earlier in the week, and I was like, yo, this could be the furthest thing from reality. So yeah, man, it's a big topic. Like, what's your take on toxic positivity?
Yeah, I think you kind of wrapped up nicely. I think for me, it's getting the balance between being positive but also being human as well, because obviously humans have many different emotions, and I feel like especially on social, we kind of only show the positive traits. I think we're getting to a place where we're showing more of the other side, and and how things can't be perfect, and even how you can create a community around not portraying that perfect life. We've
Mhm.
seen it through many different occasions. Even last year, I forgot the girl's name, but there was the young baby that had cancer, and the parents were influencers. I know the guy was called Ashley Kane, but yeah,
Oh yeah. Isaiah, no,
yeah. That was it. So
Isaiah. Yeah.
I think that was like a perfect way to show that
Mhm.
they struggled through it. They've shown that struggle, and they've built a community around it to lead to positivity. Whereas
Mhm.
they could have just maybe not even broadcasted it. They might have shown a different light towards it, but that balance between the two helped them get through the situation. Whereas, yeah, in other instances, we kind of just portray that positive light, and it can't be healthy for the person, let
Yeah,
alone
yeah.
let alone the people kind of engaging with that content.
Yeah. And like I feel like just being on social media itself, especially when you're earning on social media as well, I feel like sometimes you feel like you have to show the good life all the time. I know Molly May spoke about this briefly in the Stephen Bartlett podcast, The Diary of a CEO, where she like took out like her lip fillers because she was like, I don't like this anymore. Do you know what I mean? Where other influencers might feel like, well, I've committed to this. This is the person who I've chosen to be, and I'm just gonna stay like this, like for the rest of my time, like in front of the camera. I know celebrities in the past definitely had to do this, but now people want to see things that are real, and people connect with what's real. Do you know what I mean? Like you mess up, people mess up every day. Do you know what I mean? And now is it like if you if you want to, if you decide to, you'll probably build a stronger community if you're able to show both sides. Like with the Ashley Kane situation with his wife or girlfriend, I'm not sure, but like everyone was watching it, and it was like there was good days and there was bad days. There was days where his daughter was perky, there was days where she wasn't doing really well at all, and like you saw how it was affecting him, and he documented it, and that just gives you like a good balance. And this week I mentioned it already, like I saw a video and it's like a 5 a.m. routine. And like every time I've seen these videos, everyone's doing the same thing. It's like everything's perfect. They're videoing themselves waking up. Uh and their beds are like not even creased, and they just woke up
Mm.
like and it's like, what? Do you know what I mean? Then it's like they go do a workout, then they make the perfect coffee. There's no spillage.
Mm.
There's no like it's too hot. Like you're drinking it
Yeah.
straight away type thing. Then I said they meditated, they worked out. Then they do start working. Everything's like perfectly nice and fine. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like there's like nothing's gone wrong. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And the portrayal of that is almost like everything is so perfect. And to me, I was just like, yo, sometimes I spill my milk, or sometimes like like trying to get up is hard.
Tough.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as they show. It's not just a case of just zoom out of bed like a zombie. That is not a human thing to do.
No, not at all. Like
But
you don't just wake up happy sometimes. Like it's like I tried different things. I've tried like throughout my like last 10 years, I've tried like sleep cycle. I don't know if you've heard of it. It was like an app on iPhone, sleep cycle,
okay.
and the way it wakes you up. So like alarm clocks, they wake you up like ding 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 ding. So you're like shocked to wake up kind of thing, and it makes you want to snooze it. But the way this alarm does it was like small little increments. So you hear a noise, then you're like, ugh. And then like maybe on the sixth noise, you kind of get up. But it's like
Mm.
you've already been just it's been slowly waking you up. So it's not like a shock
Okay.
to your body.
How did you
Um
find it?
a friend told me about it. So when I was living in Spain, my roommate, he was using it to wake up. And he says that I set it for whatever time, and I never felt tired when I woke up. So
Mm.
I tried it in it, and yeah, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. Like sometimes like if I had an exam that morning, I need to wake up, but I've been partying the night before, it does work. You don't feel so groggy, like
Mm.
it's just like just woken up. So I don't know if it's still out there. I don't use it anymore, but I tried that. Do you know what I mean? try to go to bed earlier, you know, all these different things to try. There's
Mm.
times where I've gone bed earlier, I've woken up even more tired
Yeah, yeah,
than when
yeah.
I've had less sleep.
There's a good we always seem to mention Stephen Bartlett within these podcasts, but there's a good
Yeah,
podcast with Stephen and a sleep therapist about that, about sleep and the myths, and she kind of untangles a lot of the myths around sleep. But definitely worth like listening to if you do struggle,
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
you need something like just for insightful, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I have seen that episode, and what I thought about it was it's very like the way we look at sleep is mad, isn't it? Like it's like we don't actually understand it sometimes. Because sometimes we think it's like a, let's say like over the course of a week, you need to have, I don't know what you sleep, let's say 10 hours a day or whatever.
Mm,
You need 70 hours sleep, let's say, give or take. And so, like, let's say you only slept 5 hours one day, you need 15 hours the next day to catch it up,
mm,
and you need to do all that. But she kind of just debunked all of that and just kind of said it really depends on you, the individual, and how you are. I know it's like that. I realized that once when you play football, you need more of a rest than you do if you didn't play football or
mm,
didn't work out that day or whatever. There's times where I can survive on like 6 hours sleep and even 4 hours sleep, and I'm super productive. But then there's times when I've had like 12 hours sleep, and it's like, yo, I need to go back to bed.
mm, mm.
So it definitely depends on you and your routine. But yeah, no, it's really a really good episode that. So yeah, definitely check that one out, man. I want to quickly share my screen doing this for the first time, so bear with me. But I want to show you guys this like an example of one of these positive vibes only videos of like their daily 5 a.m.
Mm.
5 a.m. Routines. So give me new software. Bear with me 2 seconds. So yeah, quickly, this a big shout out to I guess Dante. Um, this is his video.
You call me again, drunk in your bed.
His house
Driving
is
home
spinking clean.
Mm.
The car's
Scaring
clean.
me to death, but I'm wasting my breath. 'Cause you only listen to your phone. I don't relate to you.
Was that a midday
No, I
bath?
don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't relate to you. No.
Perfectly edited. Nah. Yeah, that was interesting, isn't it?
It is. It is. See, for me, it's a weird one because for me, I don't mind those videos. Like I do find them quite entertaining, but again, it's the balance because not every morning is like that, not every day is like that, and it's kind of highlighting that to people. Like I have no problem with him promoting that if he also can show like the other side of it, like maybe the more raw side. He might wake up one day and be like, "Nah, I'm not on it. That's not who I am." Like and kind of explain that as well. Just getting a balance. I think the influencers now of today have to be able to portray both in terms of being transparent with what they're doing, because otherwise, especially if you're young people seem to they're a bit more naive to these situations and they kind of take it literally. They kind of see that every day might be like that for him, and that's when you start comparing and stuff like that, and you can go down a rabbit hole. But yeah, I think like I said, it's just a balance of content.
Yeah, because like you said, like people will definitely look at that and think, I want to aspire to that every single day. But like obviously, there's like two ways to look at it because I could tell you that's not realistic. That's not going to happen every day. But then someone might say, well, if you want that to happen, you can make that happen every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But realistically, I mean, like he didn't look like he was single. I think he had a missus that kind of jumped in a car. But like, if you have kids, that's not happening.
That is not.
If you have kids, that's not happening. If you live with your parents, that's probably not happening either. You might look at your life, you might look at him and think, oh, he's a certain age, he has his own place, and he has his girlfriend. You might feel pressure that you're not in the same place because you might look like you're the same age or whatever.
Mm.
So there's like all these different things that kind of come from it. I don't know if the video needs to have a disclaimer. I don't know if there is a solution to these things, but should there be some kind of content social responsibility.
Mm.
Another way of saying CSR, I guess, but instead of
Yeah.
corporate, but it's like content, like social responsibility to, you know, we've seen it now with ads. You know, content creators, I need to say this is an ad, or they're getting paid for this, or they're not getting paid for this, and stuff like that. There might be have to be an element of whether this is real or not real.
Mm-hmm. We're seeing that as well with what was the new thing that came out recently about digital influencers and virtual influencers? Like they now have to state that they're digital within each of their posts. Before it was just free. Like if you were, have you seen any of these like digital virtual influencers?
No, I haven't actually. No.
I'll see if I can find one in the background. But so basically, over the last few years, there's been like an emergence of kind of like avatars, real life avatars that designers have kind of put together and created virtual accounts on Instagram for them.
Okay.
And they've got like brand deals and the likes of Adidas, Prada, stuff like that. So I work with these digital influencers. They look like at first glimpse, you're gonna think they're the everyday influencer, they're humans, but really they're a digital version of a character that's been made up.
Oh, so what? They're like metaverse characters?
Almost.
That is wild.
Almost.
I knew we would get there, but I didn't think we'll get there right now. I didn't think a virtual character would be able to be an influencer and have loads of followers and be able to actually influence anything. But that's again, it's crazy, man. With the times, with metaverse, with NFTs, we're going into a world that we would never have experienced before. It's almost like it's a full-blown simulation of life, like it's full-blown simulation. And you know, people already think that the world itself is a simulation already anyway. You know, it's places on earth you can't go, you can't travel, you don't know. Some people still think the world is flat. Some people believe people live underneath the world. They think everything's controlled and puppeted and, you know, whatever. And you know, we're now going into more of a digital world where everything is actually that, like it's actually controlled, and
we are there.
You know, do you know what I mean? So yeah, do you find anything?
Yeah, I found an account. I'll share my screen.
I saw a meme the other day where it's like, okay,
yeah, you
get my screen.
I'm gonna say it now.
See it now?
Yeah. Can you see that?
I can't see anything, you know. Let me add it to the screen. Actually, do it. Yeah. Boom! I can see it.
Sweet. So yeah, this is I've found a list, but this was the first girl that kind of popped up. So yeah, 3.1 million following.
Oh, she's not real.
She's not real.
You're kidding me.
Not real, bro.
Obviously, you know, if you're listening to this, you obviously not going to be able to see this, but definitely check this out on YouTube. Again, type in the Social Living Podcast on YouTube and it will come up, or you can type in #Living Agency and it will come up as well. Wow.
She's even got a boyfriend, a real life boyfriend.
Wait, I don't get it. So is it a doll then?
I have no idea. It might be a person.
It's a fake. So she's digital, but the boyfriend is real.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. That's real.
It's a bit mad. It's a bit mad.
I can't believe I'm seeing this right now. This is real. So who's creating this? Who's making this money? How do I create this?
Let me find another example. Find another example, because there is a black girl as well that looks very, very real. Oh, this was the one I come across the other day.
Emma.Graham. If you're not,
so yeah, she's just done a catwalk. Look, sponsorship by Hugo Boss.
Mad.
Like these are taking the market share away from real life influencers.
Mad. But who's getting the money?
Yeah, it's like it's just probably the creator behind it.
Mad. All right, if anyone here, if anyone within this community that's listening to this right now, if you are a 3D visualizer or graphic designer, hit me up because I got some plans. I got some big boy plans. So yeah, that what I just seen there is blowing my mind. I can't even believe you're saying that. So like these virtual created influencers are getting brand deals, and I'm here trying to find a brand deal, and I can't get one.
You can't even compete. It's making it hard to compete. Before you had to compete against other influencers, now you've got these virtual beings that are made to look perfect or in a way that they know will be appealing to most and are getting the followings, getting the deals, getting a bag. It's going to make it a lot harder.
Yeah, that's crazy. And again, like they all looked a certain way in it. They were almost kind of young and school girlish, I say, a bit too young. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if there's an agenda behind that, but again, I think it's not. I think that's a bit toxic.
Definitely.
Because if you don't look like that, what are you going to tell yourself? You're ugly. You don't fit in. I could never aspire to, be famous, or do you know what I mean?
And you go through the comments of these posts, and these young people saying, "Oh my God, you look great. Oh my God, I want to be like you." Like, it's not healthy. It's not healthy.
Again, I think I say this almost every episode. It's another episode of Black Mirror. Soon we'll probably see one of these influencers, I guess, fighting for presidency, prime minister, breaking records of some sort, or, who knows? Like, I don't know where we're going with this, but yo, that is, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to imagine a life like my grandson and like him telling me he wants to be like a virtual created character at old age.
You can see it like with like if that it's gonna go into music like eventually, because that's where popular culture goes, and you're gonna start seeing like musicians emerge that are virtual characters, and then there's gonna be hologram concerts, and then concerts in the metaverse. So these people, like, you can see where it will scale to, and again, that's where it does get interesting. Like when you start fanboying these people, you're getting the Drakes of the metaverse, but they're digital, and it could all become very messy.
Yeah, that's it's all too much for me. Like, I know, I would love to see some of the like artists that I never got to see, because they due to being passed away, like, or like, your Bob Marleys of the world, Tupac. I never got to see Nipsey Hussle, like these artists. I would love to see them in a hologram. I would love to see that. But just a virtually created person who hasn't existed in real life, I'm not sure. Obviously, for me being an older generation, I guess to the younger generation who actually engage with this, it wouldn't appeal to me at all. But yeah, if you could bring back people from the dead almost, and you could like, there's certain art that doesn't get appreciated by the older generation, even if it was like Beethoven, like Ludwig van Beethoven, if his music, like if we could see him do orchestra in 3D, in the metaverse, so to speak, that would be an amazing thing.
Yeah, you can see the value of that. Yeah,
I could see the value of that. But this stuff, doesn't sit well with me. And they both kind of look like K-pop stars as well. I don't know. I don't know if you know anything about K-pop, but a few of my younger sister-in-laws, they are like addicted to K-pop, and it's like that same look. Like the boys, they wear lipstick, they get their nose done, they almost look feminine, and like I don't know what it is. If I don't know where this world is shifting to, but it does make me nervous, and I think it can cause a lot of anxiety, like especially amongst that younger generation. It's going to be harder for them to even feel motivated if they just feel like they could never aspire to be this. They could they ever be a digital character?
They can't.
So
Yeah,
then,
at least in this day and age, if Molly May gets lip fillers, girls can go and get lip fillers. I know it's not great, but they can still, if they want to. There's an achievement there. They can try and make steps to get there. Even though I'm not promoting that, there's that relatability. But when it was digital, no way you can relate to that. It's just not there. It's not human. It's not a healthy way to kind of portray a life. But we're going there, and I don't think there's anything stopping it. So you've got to adapt. You've got to adapt.
I hear you. I hear you. I want to quickly segue this into Netflix quickly. So Netflix, they spoke about not they didn't speak about, sorry. They released a movie. It might have been the back end of last year, maybe front end this year. Called Don't Look Up. Have you seen it by any chance?
Don't look up. What's
Leonardo
it about?
DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio. So basically, the whole movie's about this.
No, I've seen it. Yeah, seen it. Yeah.
Asteroid or meteor coming to thing. And like, this is just another example of toxic positivity that I just wanted to bring up. So obviously, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, so definitely go check it out. So pause it here, go watch it, come back and listen to the rest of the podcast. So there was a time where Leonardo DiCaprio goes onto the TV show to talk about this asteroid / meteor coming to destroy Earth and how we need to react. And the TV presenters just spun everything into a positive light. Like, there was no way, like, we obviously try to say, look, everyone will be dead in this set amount of time. They were like, but we're going to survive, right? We need to stay positive.
Yeah.
We can handle this. Like, it could just miss Earth. You could have got avoiding every reality.
They were saying about percentages. That was like a 99.6% chance it's going to hit Earth. And they were like, oh, so there still is a chance.
Yeah.
It was just, No, I got that from the movie. And it does kind of show where we're at, because that's the life we're living, is that there's always got to be a positive spin. There's always got to be a positive spin on any situation. And so, sometimes if it is what a situation is, what it is, it's negative. You just have to let it be, let your emotions kind of take over, and it is what it is. Like, you just got to accept it. You can't always spin a narrative or spin a situation.
Yeah, and we're almost kind of taught that there's always a positive, there's always this. And I think that us as just a generation, we need to be able to look at something, accept it for what it is, and then take it on as it is head first. There's loads of things that happen, like, for example, this might go into a different area, it's a bit of a gray area, but like, let's say you're in a relationship, for example, and you find it hard to move on. So you kind of stay fantasized with the partner that you were with. Instead of accepting that it's time to move on, you're holding on to this kind of like positivity that you always find this person, get this person back. But in reality, it's like, that could happen. Don't get me wrong. It could happen. But it's like, you also have to accept that that person's actually gone. Do you know what I mean? Same thing can happen with death. Like, someone has actually gone, and you have to be able to accept that the person is gone. And then you kind of like have to take that fear, because at the end of the day, it's fear that you're avoiding that makes you want to latch onto some of these things. So you have to be able to kind of take that fear on and then go on it, and then you won't feel that fear anymore. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know if anyone has overcome any fears, but that's literally what you have to do when it comes to fear. You actually have to like go straight towards it and grab it and go on top of it. Do you know what I mean? Whether you're about to bungee jump, whether you're about to, I'm going to go pick up this spider. I've never done this before. Do it one time.
Yes, so good.
Do you know what I mean? And I feel like having a kid has helped me with that a lot. Not that there's many things that I'm scared of, but now it's like I don't even bat an eye. I can't lie. I used to be scared of dogs when I was a kid. You know this. I was gone.
I've
You know what I
seen
mean?
Gone. I've seen Julian sprint away from the sprint. You say Bolt, run around parks.
You could never catch a picture frame with me and the dog because I wasn't ever like, you know what I mean? It was gone. But you know, like as time went on, I got to be around the dog. I got to understand the dog. I had to knock it on, like, you know, full head. And then now it's like, okay. And I knew when I was younger, I was like, I can't be scared of dogs when I have kids because I have to protect my kid from a dog if needs be. You know what I mean? So it's like things like that. So now I'm trying to show my kid not to be scared of certain things. Do you know what I mean? Just like, come on, let's go. Do you know, whether it's like walking, whether it's calling, whatever, just let's go. And I'm trying to do that. And even with our lives as well, like you have to be able to like, I'm gonna go for that job that I never thought I would try to go for. I'm gonna start that business that I was never gonna, do you know what I mean? And I think that's the positive light of it, as opposed to let me just keep dreaming. And it's like that's the toxic part because it's still positive, but you're just dreaming. You're not actually working towards it. You're not actually,
and that's
climbing towards it.
That's kind of where like the affirmation culture and thoughts become things gets a bit lost because we kind of say this stuff quite softly and quite lightly, and the quotes and the messages are there, but they're not there to act on, or they might be there to act on for some people, but other people just see the quote and it's wishful thinking without action in it, and being around that, so like it's great and it can change your day, but if you want it to change your life, you need to start actioning these things instead of seeing a quote thinking, oh yeah, that's great, it might change your mood at that moment, but you want long-term change from it, which takes action. And I think that's where things get a bit lost, because I was there even when I was younger. I remember reading The Secret and I thought, yeah, I can just think positive and positive things are gonna happen to me and my life's gonna be great. But then you realize you get that speeding ticket coming and posting. It's not the same. You need to be able to feel that emotion and react to it. And yeah, it's kind of thinking above and over these trends that come about in terms of affirmations and stuff and action in it, because you can easily get caught up in it, and you could look back on the last year or so and nothing's changed because you haven't actually actioned the stuff you've been learning about.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like I know a lot of people have spoken about this in the past. I know rappers talk about this a lot. Like you get people who are like teachers and they're teaching maybe how to run a business, but they never actually run a business. And they probably have thought that they were going to be that person that would do that, but they can't do it. They have to teach it. You know, footballers or people who were trying to be footballers and they can't, but they will just kind of like teach it because they never been able to action what it is that they were trying to say or whatever. And like it is really important that you do. It's like you do. I could read 100 books on self-development and never do a thing. Never take that step because I'm trying to take the perfect step by reading all these books. I'm like, okay, cool, I know what to do. There's so many people, they literally know what to do. They say it to other people, they don't do it themselves.
Great at giving advice, but not great at like just actioning their own advice they're giving to other people.
And that I don't know, does it show that it's a hard thing to do? I don't know.
I think so. It's just courage. I think I was in that boat where I was consuming Gary Vee every day. I was reading all the self-help books out there just to kind of, I don't know, help motivate me, I guess, to make a change. But then that was all I was doing. I was just consuming all of this information. Yeah. And I guess it did help later on, but it was once I realized I know what I know, and now I need to start actioning it to kind of get to wherever I want to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I feel like I battle with this every single day. I find it hard. Like obviously I've started an agency, doing a podcast and stuff, and people always like every time they ask me after like 6 months time, how's it going? And it's like I feel like sometimes when they ask me how it's going, it's like they're expecting, it could be my own self, it's like they're expecting this kind of like, they expect me to be on the same level as maybe the Stephen Bartlett podcast, or do you know what I mean? It's like, yo, I'm like, it takes time, and sometimes it could take 10 years, sometimes it can take 5 years. You don't know when it will be, but you have to take the action to be consistent and improve and improve and improve and improve. And as long as you're better than you were the last time or the 10 times before that, you're on the right path. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
definitely.
But sometimes that's not, you can't say that when someone says, how's it going? Do you know what I mean? But you know, it's like a double loaded question. Like, are you still doing that? Okay, so when are you gonna find a job then? Or when are you gonna like when is it all gonna click then? Don't worry, you'll soon be a millionaire. I know it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like
brush it off.
you brush it off. So it's like there's those pressures, and then obviously in your day to day, like running your own business, being freelancer, having contracts, dealing with taxes, dealing with all these things that kind of come with being an entrepreneur and trying to be an entrepreneur is there's ups and there's downs, and you have to like, I don't know, you have to fight, you have to like remember, all right, cool, it comes with these ups and downs. Do you know what I mean? I was talking to someone actually recently, and I don't know if it's toxic positivity again, because it's like I'll say, yeah, it comes with its ups and downs. I just take everything in my stride. But they came back to me and said, well, it's only comes with ups and downs because you expect ups and downs. So if you just think everything will be up, everything will just be up. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right like that. You're gonna get downs. That don't make sense. That's not life. That's
Yeah.
not like
But then
that.
is it because we think like that? That's why that won't happen.
No, because you get downs are a part of life. Like we wouldn't know what highs were without the lows. Like I feel like that's part of journeys.
No, it's true.
Learning comes, I guess, is during those, like you make a mistake and that is your down period and you've got to learn from it. Like I think that's, for me anyway, that's where I feel like I've learned the most, is when I've probably been at my lowest. And you kind of accept that and you're like, right, okay, well, I need to change this now.
Yeah.
Rather than just, again, wishfully thinking that if I think it'll be okay, it's just going to be okay, when you need to kind of...
You have to action. I'm not going to, like, affirmations are really good. I think it's good, like, to have, like, start you off, because it's like a seed, set the right mood or whatever. And then you have to have something that you can complete off the back of that. Otherwise, it really is just a dream, or do you know what I mean? It's not really like something real that you can actually tangibly hold. Like, I think there's a step process that you need to do to be able to go from affirmation to manifesting to actually having it. And I think one of those things is give yourself a to do, and go and complete that to do, and you just go from there. So yeah, no, I hear that one for real. Like I find it hard sometimes, and that's just real coming from us. Like, obviously got this the podcast. Sometimes it's hard to get the right day, the right time. Kids going to sleep. There's so many things that go on behind the scenes, and it's just like up, down. Should I avoid it this week? Sometimes we can't get it in, and that's just the reality of it. Do you know what I mean? But we're doing the best that we can to be as consistent as possible, and that's the positive, not the wishy-washy positive, which is like a fugazi, doesn't actually materialize,
And
so,
then I guess it's understanding what success is. Again, I think with the whole Molly May situation, it kind of highlighted, for me anyway, and what she said was about the whole 24 hours in a day. We all have that, but we all have time to make a change, but the changes we make will lead to different levels of success. Like, success for someone with less money might mean having extra money at the end of the month so they can take the family out for dinner. Like, that might be a success to them, and what do they need to do to get there? And they can then compare, not against anyone else, but compare against themselves 3 months ago, a year ago, and think, yeah, okay, I've made improvements. I feel good. I've made a change, rather than comparing yourself to other people. And I think that's where it gets a bit tricky, because people don't know what goes on behind the scenes. You don't know if someone's got a leg up somewhere, or with what people are doing to be in that position. I think that's where it gets tricky. I would say to like Tanika and her baking business to not compare against other baking brands that blew up over lockdown and stuff like that, because you just got comparing yourself. And 2 years ago she wasn't doing it full time, now she's doing it full time, and it's just
And
understanding
yeah,
that growth,
it's
success.
your own steps. It's your own
Mm.
steps that you have to compare against, and that's your best person who you can compare against, because you know exactly what it took you to get to one point to get you to the next point. You know if you're not doing enough to get to that next point that you need to get to. Do you know what I mean? Only you know that. So it's really important that you don't focus against anybody else or anybody else's. We're not going to compare ourselves to anyone else's podcast or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Inspiration in terms of presenting styles, videos, things we got now. We got branded set here. Do you know what I mean? We had a stage manager. Like it's growth, and we couldn't compare that to ourselves from the last time or when we started to now. Do you know what I mean? Like we were recording podcasts. I'm not even putting it out. Now there's no hesitation. Now we're available on all platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Amazon. Ask your Alexa. Don't want my Alexa to turn on just because I said Alexa there, but but yeah, man. No, it's been a good podcast. I think it's time for that hot seat question, man.
Hit me with
Yeah, you ready for it? Yeah. So hot seat question time. It should show up on the screen now. Would you rather have the ability to go forward in time or the ability to go back in time?
Yeah, I think this is a simpler one for me. And I don't know if I've just not given too much thought to it, but I think it would be the ability to go back in time, to be able to change certain maybe mistakes. If you might regret a few things or change a few things that might have impacted your life, I feel like just having the opportunity to change it, or maybe speak to different people, or speak to people more, speak to people less. There's this, I feel like you can, as you grow older, you grow a bit wiser, and I think you can kind of teach your younger self a few things, and I feel like that could kind of give you that opportunity to do it. But then going forward in time, I don't know what positive would you say that that you'd get from going forward in time?
Going in forward in time is like you get to just experience a new world, isn't it? Because the world changes. So it's like you always learn about what happens in the past, but you can't learn about what's in the future. So the positive is experiencing what that new future is like. Like we just spoke about the whole digital influences, right? But now, like, where could that go in like 100 years time? Do you know, with digital wars, digital soldiers between two countries? Like, who knows? Like, digital World War One, mad. Like, who knows? I don't like. Obviously, I'm just blowing smoke, but we don't know where the world could be. Like food, like, we've seen it in movies, flying cars, but we don't really know. Like, is the human and the digital, are we going to be in like digital form? Are we constantly going to be like that? Is it going to be like the Matrix? So we're just like in a simulator. We just live our life like this, and we're living our lives through our mind, and our mind can project what it is that we see, and that's what we want to see. So whatever we choose to see, that's how we live our life. Like, and you just get to experience that by going forward into that time and seeing that. Me personally, I want to go back in time. Like, there's parts of there's certain times I just want to experience. Like, there's times like when I actually wanted to see what life was like when like my grandparents that time when they were growing up in Jamaica and then coming over here. Like, I want to see what that time
transition. Yeah, the whole transition of everything, and because they can tell us stories, but you can kind of picture what it would be like in your head. But I can imagine the reality being a lot different.
Yeah, big time. Like that. Like, come on, like our grandparents. Obviously, we share the same grandparents, but our what's it called? They came from. I think they went from Jamaica to Cuba, Cuba to New York, New York to Ireland, and Ireland to the UK. And I'm like, yo, and then the other aspect was like, I think back then, I swear there wasn't like a limit in terms of like luggage and stuff, and you know, like all these things and food. I'm like thinking like, what's the plane like? What's the airport even like? Like, was there metal detector? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. There's small things like that. Yeah.
It's like that whole change. Do you know what I mean? It's like coins, money. My granddad was telling me about how they used to get rum. They used to steal rum from the Ray and Nephew factory by soaking rags and cloths and then squeezing it into a bottle and then sell it. That was like, that's like, do you know what I mean? That's like a whole, that's them thinking out the box. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I want to, like, what was that like? And then it's the same, like, the element of like slavery. I want to see maybe that transition from no slavery to slavery. And then that life before slavery, what was that like? There's so many things. There's certain people I want to see. So if I could travel back in time and I can go to a specific place, if I could follow someone like Marcus Garvey, and he was trying to get all black people to kind of go back to Africa and be like create like a united Africa, you know. And there's still plans, like still countries still believe in that plan and want to do that. But I wonder like if that was to like, I want to see like what his thinking was. He went to like places like Ecuador and realized, oh my god, there's black people here too, and then realized like, oh, they should probably go back to Africa too. And it's like the black people in Ecuador were still treated the same as they were in America, as they were in maybe Panama, and like and in Jamaica as well, because obviously after they kind of like the slave owners were kind of like made to kind of like leave or sell their land or whatever, it was still hard for people who kind of broke away from slavery to earn money. So they would kind of like go back and work, but they would get paid. It's like almost a slave wage at the same time. So there's like all these things that I'm like, I want to know more answers. I want to get more, you know, questions, because these things are not necessarily spoken about, and I want to like learn about that kind of stuff, you know. But yeah, I think before slavery, I think that's the biggest thing I want to see. Like, what was that like? I can go back into philosophy, things like Plato, Socrates, Egypt, ancient Egypt, pyramids. If I could go back to the time when they actually built the pyramids, then I could be like, yes, it was aliens. I don't know, like, do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I want to like just for me to just know. I care. In terms of where we're going, I don't feel like I'm really fast.
No, yeah. I feel like it will be what it will be, but I feel like almost like the past is a bit more interesting for me. I think.
Is it because it's already written?
Yeah, that's probably why we obviously don't know what's going to happen in the next few years. But I think the past just holds more value, like you said, just because it has already been written, and you kind of want to see that and be part of these historical moments. I mean, being able to visualize it as well, rather than just read it through a news article, the news, or whatever book might be talking about it. But, it is an interesting question. I quite like that one.
Yeah,
there's so many different moments you could go back to.
So many.
Even like, it's our youth and growing up, how that was like the playground for the kids in the area, and
there's so many. Like even like it's just shallow things to a certain extent. Like I would love to be able to be at the game where Thierry Henry scored that goal. He chipped it up and volleyed it over like Fabian Barthez. Yeah, gone mental. Like it's just little things like that. Like those times when the US landed on the moon, and like what's that like? You know, having everyone not having access to certain things, and they all glued to like the television because that was the update. Oh my god, they're going up to space. You know what I mean? I feel like we haven't even had that. We had the guy fall from space onto Earth. I think a lot of people kind of tune into that, but all the planes are going up, satellites are going up all the time. Like, there's no like anything like the whole world's like in on. Like I want to see all that kind of stuff. Yeah, man. I'll big up the hot seat question. Yeah, man, that's us today. Wrapped it up. toxic positivity. Yeah, man, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. You can hit us up on social media. I'm at Mr. Julian Green on IG, and Jamal is at Jam Lawrence UK. So yeah, check out the content, and thanks again for listening. We out.
Until next time.